Chief Minister, since coming to government, you and your ministers have insulted doctors for standing up for children, implied public servants were ungrateful for voting down your pay deal, attacked Police Association for standing up for police officers, slammed lawyers for doing their job, used minority groups as a political football, and told Territorians if they didn't agree with you, they should leave. Chief Minister, Territorians expect their government to stand up for Territorians and not tear them down. When will you stop chasing cheap headlines and start behaving like a leader?
Chief Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I tell you what has been torn down. It was the Territory under nearly 2 decades of Labor, Madam Speaker. They just about ripped the guts out of this place. And you know how we know that, Opposition Leader? Because people were leaving in droves. Long-term Territorians, all of us, have personal stories of people who are packing up and leaving because they had absolutely given up all hope on this place. Crime was totally out of control. People didn't feel safe to go to the shops, walk on the streets, even send their kids to school, Madam Speaker. Things were completely out of control. The economy had crashed after promise after promise after promise of project that never, ever got delivered. The rubber never hit the road, Madam Speaker, and our lifestyle was being eroded by a government that was more interested in social engineering than it was about just letting people live their life in peace. You went after religious schools. You went after our lifestyle, Madam Speaker. You refused to deliver on election commitments like increasing hunting reserves. Wasn't that a good one? Well, where is it, Opposition Leader? Where is it? Nowhere. Atsiaga, you want to talk Atsiaga? You had a decade to build it and you didn't lift a single grain of dirt. And so do you want to know who tore down the Territory? It was you. You were a government minister for the better part of 2 terms, Madam Speaker, and you failed Territorians, which is why they elected a CLP government in August last year, Madam Speaker. There is a very clear and distinct difference in the way in which we govern. We are out right across the Territory listening to our community. We are disciplined and focused on the platform that we took to the election and delivering our election commitments, which is all around reducing crime, rebuilding the economy and restoring our beautiful lifestyle. I had students today from MacKillop come and visit me, and that's a school in my electorate, and I said to those kids, government shouldn't be in your life telling you how to live your life. That's for you. They're decisions for you and your family and what's in your best interest. But Territorians need to know that their government has the scaffolding there when they need it. When you call 000, you want to know someone can come. If you have a loved one who is sick, you want to know the hospital will take them. You need to know there's good schools for your kids and that roads will be built and maintained. That's what a government does. But Labor was so focused on other things and chasing its own pipe dreams, Madam Speaker, it forgot at its core what it was there to do. And that's to support everyday Territorians to live their own good life, Madam Speaker. So we make no apologies for the decisions we've made, for the way in which we've governed. This is about making sure that we put the everyday Territorians' right to be safe, have a job and live a good life above everything else, Madam Speaker.
Member for Fanny Bay, what is your question?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is also to the Chief Minister. Chief Minister, it was pleasing to see the Minister for Education and Training's announcement last week about police Aboriginal liaison officers in our schools. As someone with a background in the education sector, it is great to see such innovative approaches being introduced in our schools, not only to support student wellbeing, but also to deliver on our election commitments. As part of our strategy to reduce crime, rebuild the economy and restore our lifestyle, we went to the election with a promise to expand school-based policing, to increase school attendance and ensure the safety of both students and teachers. Chief Minister, can you outline how this initiative is being rolled out and how it delivers on those election commitments?
Chief Minister.
Thank you very much, Member for Fanny Bay, and I just know how passionate you are about young people. You believe in their future, and your education background means that you are just so keen to see more Territory kids getting to school and achieving their dreams. I know the schools in your electorate are absolutely beautiful, providing the nurturing, supportive environment to lift up our kids and let them know that they have a strong future here in the Territory. But you also know, Member for Fanny Bay, through your extensive experience in getting kids to school, is that if kids aren't in school, they are not learning, Madam Speaker. And an education is a key to their future. It is absolutely fundamental in their success moving forward, their ability ability to have a good life, look after their family, achieve their dreams. Because at the end of the day, what do we want for our kids? We want them to be the best version of themselves. We want them to aspire and dream. We want them to fight for things. We want them to explore the world. We want all of these things for them and for them to be happy at the end of the day. And education is fundamental to all of that. And so we have the most incredible people right across the territory in our Aboriginal liaison officers. They are a critical part of the Northern Territory Police Force. They are just these incredible people who bridge those cultural gaps between Aboriginal communities and the police. They provide important mentoring and support. They are very, very well respected right across the territory. And so we have used that opportunity to have our fantastic ALOs. Over the next 4 years, we want to have 40 Aboriginal liaison officers in schools. And so we've started that we've started that program already. We have 2 ALOs in Katherine at Katherine High School and McFarlane High School. And I just want to do a huge shout out to ALO Ethan Woods, Alum, who has been an ALO since 2023, based at Katherine Station, long-term resident of Katherine, recognised as Katherine Citizen of the Year in 2023 and 2024, Madam Speaker. Not just once, but twice. He is that amazing. NAIDOC Citizen of the Year, a youth mentor, incredible. He speaks Jawan and Creole. He's out there now supporting kids getting to school and making sure families understand how important that their kids go to school. We've also got ALO Sylvia Moroney, huge shout out to her. She became an ALO in 2023 as well, different squad to Ethan. But she's, again, a long-term Katherine resident from Binjari community, which I've been to with the member for Katherine. And she speaks Jawan as well. So we've got just these incredible people wanting to give so much to the Northern Territory. So we're really excited about this program. It does deliver on our election commitment to expand school-based policing. And so we're very, very proud of this model. And this is, of course, on top of the work we're doing with school attendance officers, who have a different but really important role as well. We've issued 81 infringements in Term 3, member for Fanny Bay, and done over 437 compliance notices, which is fantastic. Because if kids aren't in classrooms, they can't learn, Madam Speaker. So we're really proud of the Aboriginal Liaison Officer program. We can't wait to see it reach that full complement of 40 in 4 years' time.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Corrections also. Minister, can you confirm that the corrections policy on the management of trans, gender diverse and intersex prisoners continues to align with the anti-discrimination and discrimination laws, despite the Chief Minister trying to claim otherwise in a haste appeal to One Nation voters?
Minister for Corrections.
One Nation. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And that last picture is just a classic example how this opposition are trying to politicise women's safety. Yeah. They are making sure that this is a political football, Madam Speaker. And, Madam Speaker, I support the Chief Minister's stand on her policy in relation to protecting women in custody. Our government policy is clear. Male prisoners are not going to be housed with female prisoners. Women's safety and dignity comes first, Madam Speaker. From the very first day in office, this government took decisive action on women's safety in prison, and it's contained in our master plan. We are going to build 2 women's prisons, women-only prisons, Madam Speaker. This moves women out of the male population and into an area where it's safe, it's good for their dignity and, most importantly, allows for good, solid rehabilitation. Good rehabilitation, because we want to make sure that prisoners, women and male, get a good chance of rehabilitation. Madam Speaker, we worked hard to get women out of the watch houses in both Alice Springs and Darwin, Madam Speaker, which is a policy that the former government did. They allowed women to be locked up in watch houses with men in really cramped facilities and did nothing about it, Madam Speaker. Nothing about it. So if you want to talk about women's safety, there's a classic example of how they failed women in the correction system. They popped them in a watch house, locked the door and said it'll be right. It took the community to vote them out. We come into power and we stopped that. We have stopped that, Madam Speaker, because we are about women's safety. We're also opening a women's bail transitional care facility in Alice Springs, where women who come out of custody have got somewhere to go to start rebuilding their life, to be able to have wraparound service to support them to become out better people, Madam Speaker. It's about that rehabilitation. We know that just putting anyone in a prison doesn't work. We want to make sure they have access to training, rehabilitation, Madam Speaker, the Chief's words set a clear and enforceable operational standard, ensuring every placement decision upholds women's safety, and women's safety is our #1 priority when it comes to looking after prisoners. Prison placement decisions must ensure that no prisoners compromise their safety or dignity when you're in custody. Men will not be accommodating in women's prison. Full stop, Madam Speaker.
Please take your seat, Minister. What's your point of order, Member for Daly?
There was a specific. The question was very specific around the corrections policy and whether it aligned with the anti-discrimination and sex discrimination laws. The minister hasn't answered that and would like to hear the answer to that part.
Minister, you've got 44 seconds.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I commend the Chief Minister for leading the nation on this issue. Madam Speaker, we know just recently Victoria has announced a review into their processes, Madam Speaker.
Take your seat, Minister.
110 relevance. I go back because he just went straight back to his notes. So I just want to go back to the actual...
You can hardly call 2 points of order within 5 seconds and think that that's proper and within the standing orders. The Minister has the 35 seconds to get to the relevant part of the question which you've demanded he go to. Whether it's to your liking or not is another matter. Please continue.
And I am answering the question because this is about women's safety. And we are making sure that women aren't just locked up in watch houses and you keep throwing away like the previous Labor government did, Madam Speaker. We're making sure that our policy meets the expectations of the government and the community. Madam Speaker. And if it's not clear enough for you, Madam Speaker, we will make changes. But we are going to make sure that women's safety is our paramount consideration, Madam Speaker. We want to make sure we comply with all the laws of the nation, all the laws of the Northern Territory.
Order, honestly. Minister, have you finished?
Yes, I have.
Member.